Aisling Dolan.
Yes.
We were speaking yesterday in Ballinasloe in the library about solar power. And you had some interesting things to say.
Solar power. Well, firstly, as I was saying there, very much welcome to the Mayfly, to Denis, to the ECO SHOWBOAT here to Ballinasloe. We had an absolutely excellent time yesterday, and Denis, you were so good. You engaged with our schools, and you had a class, I know, from Crea National School, just before their summer holidays, coming out to meet Denis and hear all about the wonders of the Mayfly and the ECO SHOWBOAT, but also about the diversity and everything else that you're promoting here as well when you come to visit our town. So you're very, very welcome, and I hope you're really going to enjoy today. But yes, for me, I think this is a great opportunity to promote, I suppose, solar panels, renewable energy, ways that we can reduce our reliance and our costs for energy costs and so on. There's grants at the moment. Sustainable Energy Authority of Ireland, SEAI, have grants of roughly 2,800 or so for residential, for families to invest in solar panels in their homes. There's also grants available, I know, out there for community groups and businesses, but also farmers and farming. There's very much an incentive there under TAMS, the Targeted Agricultural Measures grant as well, that's available to farmers to invest in solar panels. And of course, this could really reduce costs in the farm, particularly, high energy areas like dairying and so on. And there's a lot of roof space, I suppose. A lot of our slatted sheds and so on would really lend themselves to solar panels. So I do think there's some great opportunities there, and we really do see how our farming community is taking the lead in innovation as well. We have Montbellew Agricultural College very close to here, and there's a lot of measures that farmers are looking at to help and assist in how we reach sort of, our targets around energy and climate and so on. So, very, very good to see farmers taking the lead, and I just think this is another opportunity for farmers to jump ahead as well.
Okay. So that's the SEAI.
SEAI,
And it's the TAMS, is that what you said?
So for individuals, there's a grant there for solar panels, which is about 2,500 or 2,800. And then for farmers, there's the Targeted Agricultural Measures called TAMS, TAMS. And farmers would be aware of this, and they get sort of tax incentives to invest in machinery and equipment and so on. And this is one that's available now for farmers, and there's a particular incentive in terms of grant aid, nearly up to 70%. And also it's open to the equine sector. Here in Ireland we have a lot of horse breeding farms as well, and breeders and people who are equine, so it's open for the equine sector as well for the first time. So lots of good ways to invest in solar power.
Great.
And I suppose I'm hoping that people visiting your boat today, Denis,
it might
will
inspire them,
and think about maybe would they think about investing in a solar panel, because I'm very aware that the initial outlay, it's no easy task. It is an investment, but that people would see that within a number of years that there would be a good payback in terms of reducing energy costs, and I suppose really doing our bit for the environment as well.
The first thing that people notice is the windmill.
I know,
and
it's lovely.
It doesn't really do much for us. If that's not going around more than once a second, it's not really giving us any power. So it's kind of a beacon, really, And we did take it off at one stage, thinking this is not really doing much for us, and it's actually even casting shadows on the solar panels. But then people said, it looks so good.
I don't know, it just reminds me of the colours, like I was there saying to you, like a jester's hat or something. It
Absolutely.
just really reminds me,
Yeah.
and I think it really attracts attention, and particularly for children,
It makes it very
colours,
quite bright, quite fun, and it is the first thing people see when we arrive.
And I'd say it's a great conversation starter,
it's
to
a great
get people.
conversation. And the solar panels don't get so much talk, but they do get a lot of power. They're flexible. They're 6 175 watt flexible panels.
I always think of these as structures, like heavy, like sort of solid structures, but that's quite flexible, like you've said.
So the flexible are great. They're a little bit more expensive than the solid ones. And obviously, if you're putting something on a farm building or on your house, you're going to go for rigid. Yeah. So, but if you're making a canopy like this. This is made with biminis, which are like sails, horizontal sails, to protect you from the sun. and we just simply put them on top, and they work very well together, because if we took those off the biminis, the biminis would flap in the wind, and somehow when you put the solar panels on, they don't flap. So
it streamlines and makes the boat go even faster without even the
yes,
power.
Indeed,
so.
We can propose it to the bimini manufacturers as a way of stopping their biminis from flapping.
Have the solar power on the top.
Yeah.
And how do you find? So you have a lot of batteries then, Dennis, that goes with this.
There are 7 batteries. So 6 of them would be car batteries. They're AGM. 110 amp. 12 volt, and those are daisy chained to give us enough power to run the motor.
Isn't that incredible?
Which is an electric motor underneath the boat. And we can't see it, but you can.
Yeah, that's
very,
right.
Very quiet. Yeah.
It looked so petite in your video yesterday.
Very small. Yeah, it's like the size of a salmon, maybe.
It's incredible to think like maybe that size, is it?
Yeah.
And that's under the boat.
Yeah. And it's under the boat, so it makes no noise whatsoever. So when we would come into town, everybody wonders how it moves. So
if you ever see Dennis sneaking up behind, you'll know the boat is in quiet mode, stealth mode.